What is going on, guys? So today we're going to be working on the Harley. I'm going to be putting on some parts. I'm going to probably do this in a two-phase video. So we got a rear fender that we're going to do progressive 412 shocks, got a front fender, and then we got a new cowl that's going to match the vivid black paint. So hopefully you like it. Let's get started. So unboxing our fender, our cowl. All this stuff I bought from TMC Bros, which is a eBay sponsored company. They pretty much paint match everything that you have to Harley specified color codes. My bike has a lot of vivid black, so I got new cowls, new fenders, since they were all beat up, starting to rust, and were scratched up pretty good. And the bike this Friday is going to get detailed, professionally detailed, so I'm really excited for that. Pretty much you got your brackets. They should be in black, but I think the ones that are on mine now are in silver. Got a black, matte black bracket, hardware, and our cowl. Now for the wind resistance, if you're gonna ask, these things are garbage.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand. They
are horrible at deflect any wind, but this is pretty much because I like having it on there. Figured I'd get one paint match. I was gonna get mine painted. It would have cost me like 150 bucks, but I just bought a new one. That was the right color code. We'll go back to mine. You're gonna see that it's like a matte black and unpainted finished. And then we got our vivid black to match the bike. Our headlight on camera got a little scuff, but once it gets detailed, it'll be fine. These are pretty simple. Yeah, I am gonna notice it. Once it gets detailed and shined up, it'll be all right. But anyway, you got 3 screws that go on the back here, and then you got 2 screws that go on your bike. So let's get this all prepped up. Try not to scratch this again. So essentially, it's gonna come with a bracket. The bracket is gonna sit here on your 3 bolt holes. You're gonna tighten them down, probably about to 15 foot-pounds, maybe not much more than that. Then you're gonna have 2 Allens that we're gonna throw in, which I think are H8s. We're going to see that there's an Allen on that side, and then there's an Allen directly hidden on the other side. And that should just pull that right off, make it pretty easy. Got the old cowl off, and it was just your 2 Allens and that T25 Torx that was holding in your headlight. So now it's time for the new cowl, but it's what the bike looks like without any cowl. And I don't really know how I feel about it. It definitely looks different. A little update. I'm not too happy with the whole fitment, so I had to take them both off again. So initially, the edges of this was rubbing into my old light. So I had some weather stripping around, and I cut a piece to put around. That way it won't do that anymore. So I fixed that, but this bracket is way off compared to that one. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to take this bracket, put it on here, and then everything should fit. There was a spacer on here before. When I got the bike, this was already put on. So this is not what originally comes on your Nightster. So I got to do a little bit of modifying in order for this to work. So just bear with me, be right back. Okay, so a little bit of an update. I took out those 2 Allens to get this off. It's connected to the headlight, so I'm gonna take a little Torx right there, take that off, and then this cowl will come off. I had to modify the bracket a little bit, get it to fit. The problem with putting these on is I had to take off my handlebars to get to the bolts. They hide kind of behind the Speedo, which is a pain in the butt, but I do like how it came out. I think it makes the bike look more like a much more newer feel to it. I don't like the fitment though. I feel like when you're looking straight at it, feel like it's off a little bit. Maybe that's just me. I'm gonna eventually adjust the bracket so it points down just a little bit more to kind of center that headlight in there. But all in all, I think it came out really, really nice. No more matte black. It's gonna, you know, obviously match everything else. Before my right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut, then I'm gonna put a piece of tape and I'm gonna mark, you know, right side, left side. And then our third one, which is a pretty good connection, found out that is my license plate light for my bracket. Now I'm not too aware if over there in that box, if I could use my license plate bracket, if I have to get an external one, because this is a little bit of a different fender. Instead of having this open look and stuff, it's completely a bobber style. It's like the same thing, but you know, for it's a lighter, better metal, and it kind of, you know, lets go of some of the things that this has. So as far as modifying and routing, we'll figure that out after. But we'll splice, do it right, pull these out. Once I pull these out and I get this other nut off the back, we were using a 1/2 inch. So there's 1/2 inch bolts or nuts that go behind here, and you take off these covers on the side, and then this fender will pull right out. I'll just say your right side off. You can see how there was this cover. I had to pull that off. There's wires up in here that are routed that get locked into these channels. I said there's a 1/2 inch bolt or nut that will hold on your turn signal. So once you have your wires pulled and routed through your fender, which there's holes on both sides. I don't know if you can see that, but one right there, and there's obviously one on the other side. You can actually see it through here. So when you take them off, you can literally just start pulling the wire out, and you can take that all the way out. Sometimes you know, you won't be able to take it all the way out because of your cover here, but this is the cover I was talking about. So this will literally just slide right off. Okay, and you'll, you know, obviously get your connector out from that hole. I think it's been dropped before. You know, there's been a few things that were like modified as far as like lights, like the, you know, the rear brake light and stuff like that. The more I dive deep, the more I get upset about what's going on, but that's fine. You know, we're here now, we're gonna fix it, we're gonna do it right, we're gonna route things right. But bottom line is the way how the seat's been sitting down and these were routed, they started to wear through the plugs and this whole mess, and these are just crimped and not heat shrinked. And you know, you can give me your whole I don't like heat shrinked because you know, it's not needed. You know, the bike's not out in the weather a lot. Well, I ride all the time, so whether that be in the rain, sometimes in the winter time, whatever it is, I'm gonna ride the bike. But so we're gonna end up redoing these or just heat shrinking them down. But it looks like this middle wire goes to our brake light, so I know exactly what I'm gonna hook back up into and, you know, redo the wiring. So I'll just cut this here, back here, and just redo it the right way. There's supposed to be a plug, so for your twin signals in the back, it's supposed to be a plug here, and it's gone. It looked like it wore down just like how this one was because of the seat, you know, and then just not routing things right when they installed, you know, the extra lighting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat shrink it, route it the right way. I believe that it gets routed under here, goes underneath the cross member, not over the top, but goes underneath and gets fishtailed through up here, so it's a much more sleeker, cleaner, and you see that everything else won't be trying to rub everywhere. Probably just gonna do the same thing that we're gonna do here because I don't like how that's open. You know, water gets in there, that's gonna short, or it's gonna cause me problems down the road. So this is for my left turn signal. As I was trying to mention before how to route that wire, I had to loosen up the fender in order to get this cable out. Once I have a little more wiggle room, it should just come right out. Anyways, when I was in high school, I used to have a friend named Zeb, and his dad used to tell him, or used to ask him when he would get frustrated and he was trying to do something, he used to say, "How do porcupines have sex?"
Hi, I'm his sister. I'm the one that's editing this. Hopefully you like it so far. And Brandon, what the actual fuck?
He'd be like, "How?" And his dad would say, very carefully. So, in the sense of what we're doing here, it's the same exact. There we go. Okay, now we got enough. But yeah, essentially what I was saying is, you know, very carefully is how you want to do it. Right, Alpha? I do it very carefully. Me and Alpha here are gonna end up cleaning up all this dirt and debris, getting our wires set up, and then we're gonna put our brand new fender on. Ain't that right, buddy? Ain't that right? I am gonna decide to go with my third brake light. Show you what I'm gonna do to put it on. I'm gonna put some 3M VHB double-sided tape. I did put it on my GoPro mount for my helmet, and it has held up pretty well. Stuff is next to none, so I'm gonna cut the pieces accordingly. And I'm gonna let it bond, and we got I put as much as I could. So the more you put on, obviously the stronger bond that you will have. It says you know, if you let it adhere up to 24 hours, you know, it'll pretty much be like concrete. Like it won't separate. It's like super glue. It's really good stuff. So I'm gonna put it on there. I ain't gonna touch it, so it ain't gonna bother me. All right. So a little bit of an update. It's right around 6 a.m. now. Been working on the bike for the past 3 hours. We did get the headlight adjusted. I put on the new front fender, your Allen's, and nut on the back. It's a 10 mil. That was pretty easy. And then I did the side cases. They just snap in. I was missing one of these, but it's a good thing I ordered one. So now that's not going to come off anymore. I redid some wiring for the battery. I should have shown that before, but all I really did is I didn't have a proper trickle charger. The ground for that was broken off, so I just rerouted it so it was nice, and now we have a new one, so everything is all nice and tight and snug. The only thing that's holding us up now is rivets. So I was going to use bolts, but I really don't want to mess up this paint. I had everything all set up on how I wanted to do it, but these brackets that you wrap the wiring through, and my license plate bracket, and that little cover, and they all take rivets. So I'm gonna run to the store. All right, guys, so continuing off from where we had our fender, our rear fender, I'm transferring over all the plastics and everything. I grinded down all the old rivets, and you know, obviously started putting all the new lights and all that onto the new fender. I want to be able to reuse the old like hardware, like the shielding and stuff like that, and my license plate bracket. So the only way to do that effectively is to end up using new rivets for my rear fender. So here's the new fender. See how I started putting on the new plastics. This one's already done for the one side. Typically I don't really need this one because this is going to have your reflector that I don't have on there anyway, but I have it off on my license plate bracket, so I figured, you know, if that side's going to be on, we'll do that side, we'll do everything else. There's our new smoked clear tail light, our wiring, and I just want to show you the quick dry fit of how it's going to come down, and then I'll fast forward to when it's all said and done. Alright, so here's the finished product. We've got everything all riveted in, all the way around, the license plate bracket on. That's my sister.
Hey, that's me, the editor.
I'm gonna end up putting it on the bike now and wire everything up. Everything's all zip tied down so it's not going nowhere, and the seat won't be able to rub back into it. No more broken wires. Everything looks like it's in good shape now. All the lights work pretty good. Everything works as it should. Put the seat on. Then we're gonna start tackling our shocks, and then we're done. Then it'll be off tomorrow to go get detailed. We got our seat mounted. We got all the wiring done, tucked up nice and fixed and routed right. All the lights work perfectly as they were supposed to. Like I said, the seat's on. I had to do some modifications to accommodate everything since everything was kind of rigged up to begin with, but everything is like perfect. Looks like OEM, looks really, really nice. All the new side cases are on. Everything's pretty much brand new on this bike except for that tank, but that tank will eventually get replaced, you know, later down the line. But we also got our shock put on for our I guess you would say your left side, our progressive 412. Pretty easy setup here. Typically you're gonna have a T45 bolts. You're only gonna need that to take off the top, and then you're gonna need a 3/4 wrench for the nut on the back and the T40 for the front, and that'll come right off. That's pretty much it as far as what it takes to take it off. And I bought these 412s second hand, so what sucks about them is there's no instructions, but they're really, really self-explanatory. These things only had maybe roughly 1,000 miles on them. They still look like they're brand new. But when I put these in, I'll do a quick thing for you. We have a bushing that'll go in here, and you got one on the bottom. Obviously I'm going to do it the other way because I want the part number to be on the back side. So we'll do this, and we will flip this, and then you're going to put your bolster, and you're going to put another spacer on the other side. You're going to come with 4 total spacers of these, and then obviously your washers. You're going to tighten them down. It's really, really simple. So like I said, we're going to have our bolt, a washer, that bushing that we just slid in through goes through the other side. Our other spacer, I don't know if you can get a good view of that. Anyway, there's another spacer right here, and the bolt goes through, and then you'll put your last washer on, and then your nut. And up here it's the same thing, just without the washer on the end. So it's pretty simple setup. The bike, like I said, is pretty much done. It's the way that I wanted it to be. And if you haven't noticed, I'm using a GoPro. So that means that we are going to be doing some ride along since I finally put on 500 miles on that. So we got our Rorak helmet with our mount, and so excited. I got mic set up and everything, and I'm doing this all for you guys so you guys can understand, and a POV of, you know, how to do things the way that they should be, and the fact that it's not too hard. You know, why spend all that money to get stuff fixed and, you know, painted and, you know, replaced, when you could technically just do it on your own and save some money. Like all this stuff that I got going on here, like my rear fender, for my rear fender, my front fender, I was quoted $555 to get the old ones that are sitting over here. Bucket of garbage. You can see how they were all scratched up and all cretted up and just no good. For, I'd say right over around $400, I bought a matched, brand new painted fairing, brand new front fender, brand new rear fender, brand new side cases, left and right, for our Sporty. And I was like, well, let's do a quick video on how to replace it, you know, for a paint job. I mean, if you just want it the same exact vivid black that this bike is, you know, you're gonna spend an arm and a leg. I'm not here to do that. I just want a nice bike, and I want to learn how to do it myself. So, you know, this is just my quick tutorial on how to put this stuff on. It's pretty easy. So, like I said before, bike got all nice and detailed. I think it looks pretty good. Oh man, it looks so good. There's that angry woman again that I gotta keep happy. Now she's leaving me, and she just gave me the finger. That piece of crap. Alright, anyway, let's get going.
Alright guys, Chris Fix here.
Hey guys, Chris Fix here.